Hey, morning guys. How you guys doing today? Great to great to have you guys again. Welcome to the weekend edition of our football predictions on this YouTube channel here. Man, remember what we always say when we begin this video is that we have a target of getting to 10,000 subscribers before the end of October. I know today's about the last few days of October, but hey, we still have a target. Even though we're falling short of it, please do us a favor. Click on the subscription button below, like this video, and turn on notifications because we're releasing videos like this on a regular. Alright, let's do a quick recap of the games that we called on Wednesday and Thursday. Right, I know on Wednesday I did call a go for Liverpool versus Ajax. Ended up Liverpool winning 3-0. Most of the games that we called were right, but the games involving Liverpool Ajax, we called for a go. Liverpool ended up winning 3-0. We called Barca and Bayern Munich as a goal. I did think that Barca would be able to find a way at home, at least even score a goal, or even salvage some pride there against the Bavarians, but ended up 3-0 there. The remaining games that we called in Europa League, Lazio won, West Ham won, United won. We called Arsenal PSV as a goal. Arsenal lost there 3-0. So yeah, those were the only calls that we got wrong. The other calls we made in Champions League, we called the straight win for Inter Milan. We called the victory for. I'm trying to remember the other calls that we made, but pretty much all the calls we made in the Champions League were correct. Yeah, we called the go for Tottenham Sporting. We called the go for Eintracht Frankfurt and Marseille. Those ones entered. So like I mentioned, just those two games that we called. Liverpool and Bayern Munich as a goal. But Liverpool ended up beating Ajax 3-0. Surprisingly, and Ajax should really have scored in the first few minutes of that game, but they were wasteful on the night. And then Bayern and Barcelona were dreadful in that game. Let's be honest, Bayern Munich deserved to beat them 3-0 without a Camp Nou. So yeah, just those two games really. Guys, I want to say something. So if I call a game as a go, you can also go ahead and then play a second ticket and then play an over 1.5, right? Because go just simply means that both teams will score, and it's also equivalent to calling an over 1.5, right? So guys, remember what I always say: before you play, do your own research. Try and always vary the tickets too, right? And make sure you gamble with an amount that you can only afford to lose, right? So let's dig into this weekend's games. A lot of mouth-watering clashes across Europe's top 5 leagues. We'll be concentrating on the games in Premier League, La Liga, Ligue 1, and Serie A, and the Bundesliga, right? Let's go quickly to the first game that we're looking at. Will be Leicester City versus Man City. Hey, Man City had a draw in Dortmund, in midweek, and Erling Haaland, I think, only played the first half. I think was rested because of precautionary measures. It was a goalless affair there in Germany against Leicester. Although Leicester are experiencing a mini revival of some sort, but I still think that Manchester City will have too much for them on the night, or rather on the day. It's a 12:30 p.m. kickoff, and funny enough, I'm making this video a few minutes before that game begins. But I expect Manchester City to have too much at Leicester City, because I know that Leicester City will eventually concede the goal right in this game. If Haaland starts, I expect Man City to win. So I won't waste too much time. I'm just going to call this one as a straight Manchester City win. Let's go to the second one. The second one will be Brighton versus Chelsea. Right, Graham Potter is going back to the Amex Stadium where he was coached for about 3 to 4 years there. Impressive record in Brighton. And then, before he got that move to Chelsea early on in the season there. I expect, so the last three fixtures between these guys have ended up as draws. Chelsea are a lot stronger. They won in midweek 4-0. So you'd expect them to go to Brighton and absolutely pump them. But just kind of have the feeling it might not go according to plan. I feel like Chelsea are favourites to win, but if this game ends up in a draw, I won't be surprised. So for this game, I've gone for a goal or an over 1.5, right? So you can vary the ticket. On one ticket, you can play goal. On the next ticket, you can play an over 1.5, right? The next one will be Newcastle Aston Villa. Newcastle, impressive record last week. Impressive game against Tottenham Hotspur, winning at the London Stadium 2-1 there. And like I said earlier, Eddie Howe showed a lot of his tactical maturity in that game there. So against Aston Villa, who again won 4-0 last week against Brentford, 3 days after Steven Gerrard got sacked there. I was watching that game. I was like, what will be going through the mind of Steven Gerrard to see a team he's managed for the better part of 1 year absolutely just explode into a goal scoring machine there. They beat Brentford 4-0. And don't forget that Brentford were the form team going into that game there. against Newcastle. I don't expect Aston Villa to win this one. Newcastle have been very, very tough to beat at the St James's Park this season. They haven't lost any game, and no away team has come up with all 3 points, as from the St James's Stadium. So I expect Newcastle to go ahead, if not win this one, but at least in the worst case scenario, pick up a draw here. So I'm going for a home win or a 1x, right? So that's home win or a 1x here in this game. Fulham was the Everton. Fulham have been impressive so far, led by Alexander Mitrovic there. He's scored about 8 or 9 goals already in this season's Premier League. I think he's the one closely following behind Haaland in goal scoring charts there. So yeah, Fulham have had a very interesting start to the season there. Everton welcomed Calvert-Lewin last week, and remember they beat Crystal Palace last week at the Goodison Park, and Crystal Palace were the form team going into that game. But I think just having Calvert-Lewin in that forward line gives Everton much more options there. They can put the ball up top, and they know they have somebody who is tall and strong and can hold the ball up, and then also playing other midfielders running off him. You can also get the ball early, early behind the defensive line too, and also I've been impressed by Alex Iwobi's maturity this season. I think he's really grown into a fine footballer under Frank Lampard's tutelage. So yeah, Fulham Everton, I feel this one will be a goal. I expect both teams to score in this game. If not a goal, then an over 1.5, right? So for this game, I'm going for an over 1.5 or a goal. Next one will be Liverpool Leeds. Hey, Liverpool, my team, man. We beat Ajax 3-0, but if you had seen that game, the first 15 minutes of that game were completely atrocious. Ajax, could easily have scored 3 goals in that first 15 minutes there. I keep getting bothered. I keep being worried about our slow start to games. We look always very tactically unprepared for the early exchanges. We're going into a game involving Ajax when we know Ajax absolutely have to win to stand a chance of qualifying to the last 16, and we're so sloppy in the first 15 minutes of that game. If Ajax were even half as clinical as we were on the night, they would have been 3 goals up in the first 15 minutes of that first half there. So I'm not getting carried away with the result. I think I'm still yet to be convinced by an accomplished performance across 90 minutes in a single game. And Liverpool haven't exactly given us that. Maybe against Man City, right? But a serious and a well-focused approach across 90 minutes. We haven't seen that yet this season. But I still think that we'll have too much for Leeds. Leeds are on the rope here, just a match. Rumors flying around that is that if he loses this game, then he'll be out of a job. And they're coming to Anfield here. I feel like Liverpool have something to say, especially after losing to Nottingham Forest in the last round. Liverpool should have too much for these guys here, so I'm going for a Liverpool straight win here. And then in the other games will be Arsenal, Nottingham Forest. I know Arsenal lost in midweek there to PSV 3-0 away in the Netherlands, but I still feel like Arsenal will have too much for Nottingham Forest there. Expect Arsenal to go ahead and just win that one. So that's a straight win for me there. Then Manchester United versus West Ham United. West Ham won in midweek on Thursday, beating Sigborg. Manchester United to 3-0 beat Sheriff there. I know a lot of people are talking about Anthony's showboating skills. I just feel like if he does this against West Ham, where you have people like Mikel Antonio, if he's just showboating there, then he's going to end up with a very nasty tackle, on his leg. I just feel like, if you're going to showboat, you should be very careful. Not a lot of players will take kindly to use showboating and showing that you've got skills on the pitch. So, yeah, that's an aside. Man U West Ham will be a goal. I expect West Ham to at least be able to score Skamaka, Mikel Antonio, Pablo Fornals, Said Berama. I mean, these guys have so much goals in them. If they are calm in that game and they take the opportunities, then they should be able to bridge that Manchester United backline. Manchester United too are in a good run of form to Rashford, Ronaldo, Anthony, and even Garnacho was impressive against Sheriff there. So yeah, expect Manchester United to breach that West Ham backline there. So I'm going for a goal or an over 1.5 in that game. Right, let's go to the La Liga there. Valencia versus Barcelona. Barcelona were completely atrocious in that midweek game against Bayern Munich. They were very poor offensively in that game, and all the Spanish newspapers, on Wednesday morning, were really critical, and were really really harsh in their criticisms there of Xavi and the entire Barcelona team there. But here, if you spend that much money bringing in new players, the minimum that's expected of Barcelona is to at least advance to the last 16 there. And they failed to do that now for the second consecutive season there. So it's been upon one for them. Against Valencia, Valencia have So the story of Valencia this season has been that they've always played well in the first 30 to 35 minutes of the game, but in the second half they've really been atrocious. Last week they lost against Mallorca, at home there 2-1 there. So against Barcelona will be reeling off, will be reeling from that defeat against Bayern Munich there at the Camp Nou there, and Valencia to me looks like just like a perfect game to bounce back. Don't think Valencia will put up too much of a resistance, even though they are at the Mestalla here. I feel like Barca might have too much for them there. Maybe a case of transfer aggression there. In this game, I'm going for either a goal. So it's three options here: either a goal or a straight Barca win or draw, right? Guys, so let me just say that again. Barcelona versus Valencia. So it's three things that we're calling here: either a goal or an over 1.5, or a Barca win or a Barca X2, right? So feel free to choose whichever one you think resonates with you there. Remember what I always say is that you should always do your own research before you go ahead and play. And remember to only gamble with an amount that you can afford to lose, right? The other game in the La Liga will be continuing to be Real Madrid versus Girona out there. I know they had that blip in maybe against RB Leipzig, but hey, you can excuse them there. They probably played a weekend team there, although I didn't see that game. But I still feel like Real Madrid can afford to rest some players now at this point in the campaign, because from now till to the World Cup break, it's going to be a game every three days. So yeah, Girona will be let me say, I don't want to say too easy of a team because that would be disrespectful to them. But I think that Real Madrid should have too much for them, even without Benzema there on the pitch. So yeah, Real Madrid straight me for me on this one. Let's go to La Liga. I'm going to begin with Sunday's game, Lazio versus Salernitana. I remember Lazio's impressive win against Atalanta last weekend. They followed that up with a midweek win in the Europa League, beating Midtjylland, right, 2-1. Now they have to go and play Salernitana. Salernitana haven't exactly been, been enjoying this, this campaign. Yes, I feel like Lazio will have too much for them. Lazio have been impressive, guys. Don't forget they're in the top 4 there in Serie A. They picked up impressive wins. They beat Inter at home. They beat Atalanta at Atalanta's home. At the Stadio Freely. So, they've been impressive for me. I'm expecting them to go ahead and beat Salernitana here. So my predictions for that game would be a Lazio straightway. Torino versus AC Milan is a late night Sunday kickoff there. Torino there were impressive. Last week they picked up a victory and it was basically unseen. We didn't see Torino, winning last week, but hey, they came through against AC Milan, who I can't quite remember their results in midweek. But I think I also know that if they get a good result next week in Champions League, they should qualify for the last 16. I know Chelsea are the only team in that group to have secured their passage, right? But AC Milan have been very consistent in Serie A this season. Remember that they are defending the league title that they won last season. So yeah, I expect them to beat Torino. If they don't beat Torino, I expect them to play at least a draw in that game. So that game for me, Torino will be an X2 or an away win or a goal. So let me just repeat myself again. Torino AC Milan should be an X2, a goal, or an away win, right? The other game we'll be considering in Serie A will be Inter Milan versus Sampdoria. Inter Milan 4-0 against Victoria Pilsen, securing passage to the last 16 of the Champions League there. I don't expect that they would do anything else but go ahead and just win this game at the San Siro against Sampdoria. I know Sampdoria are, sometimes can be difficult not to crack, but Inter Milan should have more than enough based on their current form to beat Sampdoria. So I'm calling down as a straight win for Inter Milan. The other game will be Juventus versus Lecce. Long and short, Juve have had an atrocious campaign in Europe. They lost there again in Benfica, and it wasn't until a late rally in the second half there that they were able to claw back 3 goals there, but they still went on to lose that game there. There are questions about Massimiliano Allegri's future at the moment. I just feel like Juventus never got going in this season's campaign. I expect them to transfer a bit of that aggression and that disappointment from midweek to the game against Lecce today. So yeah, I still feel like Juventus are not doing enough, especially defensively. They have a lot of problems with that defensive line. Bonucci, it's 35, so we can't really say he's out of form. We just expect that, they'll have been more smarter in the transfer market there. But against Lecce, I expect them to go ahead and win that game. because they know that their fans are really angry at them. They have to give them something to smile about this weekend. So yeah, Juventus should go ahead and beat Lecce in that game. So Juventus straight win. The other game we'll be covering in Serie A this weekend will be Napoli versus Sassuolo. Napoli have been the standard team. Perhaps not just in Serie A alone, but across Europe's top 5 leagues. They look like they can beat any team right now. And because they won again. They beat Rangers in midweek there. And they have to battle out with Liverpool next week at Anfield to secure top spot there. I mean, Liverpool and Napoli are already qualified for the last 16. It's just a battle of who finishes top in second. Against Sassuolo too have been good too. And the thing about Sassuolo games is that you can almost play a goal because you know that Sassuolo will find a way to score. You also feel that Napoli will probably maybe too strong. When you look at the result against Roma, it showed the defensive resilience and then the street, the street OT, or should I say the street mentality to just go ahead, nick a goal there and then just defend and then be okay with the 1-0 there. Against Napoli, Sassuolo, what I would say would be a goal or an over 1.5. I still feel like Napoli are due for, should I say, a bit of a downturn in results. I don't see them continuing this winning run, especially because they played 3 games. They played 3 times a week for the last 2 to 3 weeks, and I expect that eventually they're going to get tired. So Napoli Sassuolo is a bit tricky. I'll play a goal or an over 1.5 in this one. Now let's really go to the Bundesliga there. The game will be considered there with Bayern Munich versus Mainz. Bayern Munich. Do I need to say anything more? Sadio Mane was impressive in that victory against against Barcelona at the Camp Nou. In fact, it opened the scoring for them. And of course, Benjamin Pavard was one that scored for 3-0. But they're just really more mature and more determined in that game to beat to beat Barcelona there. So yeah, I'm calling for a straight win against Mainz. Same thing will be for Leipzig, Leverkusen. Leipzig beat Real Madrid in midweek. Don't forget, Leverkusen I think drew. They drew in Spain to Atletico Madrid 2-2 there. Remember Carrasco missing a penalty, which was virtually the last kick of the game there. Really dramatic scenes there. Leverkusen to score 2 away goals in that game. So against Leipzig, I'm expecting it to be a goal or an over 1.5, right? So Leverkusen, RB Leipzig, we're calling it as a goal or an over 1.5. The other game will be Frankfurt versus Dortmund. Frankfurt again recorded a goal in midweek. Dortmund secured that 0-0 draw against Man City. Against Frankfurt, I expect to be a goal or an over 1.5. So that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling Leipzig, Leverkusen, and Frankfurt Dortmund as a goal or an over 1.5, guys. Don't forget. Right, let's go to League One. We're playing PSG Troyes there. PSG were fantastic again in midweek. They beat Maccabi Haifa 6-2. Messi notching up a double. Same as Mbappe. Neymar scored, and forgotten the last guy that scored there in that game. But yeah, it was an impressive outing there in midweek in Champions League against Maccabi Haifa. I expect him to do the same thing again against Troyes. So yeah, that's a straight win for me for PSG there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We've covered all the games we covered certain games in the Premier League, in Ligue 1, in La Liga, in Serie A, and Bundesliga. So let's do a quick recap again of the games we've called. We've called Leicester City, Man City as a Man City straight away. We've called it Brighton, Chelsea as a goal or an over 1.5. Newcastle, Aston Villa as a home win or a 1x. So that's win or draw for Newcastle. Fulham, Everton, we called it as an over 1.5 or a goal. We've called Liverpool as a Liverpool straight win. We've called Arsenal, Nottingham as an Arsenal straight win. Manchester United versus West Ham, we called it as a goal or an over 1.5, right? And then, So as I was going through that now, this Man United West Ham just came to me as it could also be a 1-0 there. So you can also play a 1x, right? So Manchester United to win or a 1x, right? So for Manchester United versus West Ham, so that's 3 options now. Either a 1x, or a Manchester United straight away, or an over 1.5 or a goal, right, guys? You can always vary the tickets too because you never really know what combinations will win. In La Liga, Valencia Barca recorded as a Barca win or draw or an over 1.5. Yeah, basically, X2 or an away win, so Barca win or draw there. Real Madrid going a straight Real Madrid win. So those are the 2 games in La Liga. In the Serie A, Napoli Sassuolo, we're calling it as a goal or an over 1.5. Lecce Juventus, we're calling it as a Juventus away win or a draw. Inter Milan Sampdoria, we're calling it as an Inter Milan straight win. Lazio Salernitana, we're calling it as an home win for Lazio because of their current form. Torino AC Milan, we're calling it as an AC Milan win or draw or a goal. And in Bundesliga, we're calling Bayern to beat Mainz straight win. Leipzig versus Leverkusen, we're calling it as an over 1.5 or a goal. And then Frankfurt Dortmund, we're calling it to as a goal or an over 1.5. In Ligue 1, we're calling PSG to beat Troyes as a straight win there. So guys, that's pretty much the games we're covering this weekend. Don't forget what I always say is that you should do your own research. Don't forget, and also play with an amount that you can only afford to lose, right? Let me repeat that again. Only play with an amount that you can afford to lose. So guys, that's pretty much it. We'll be back in 2 days' time for the predictions in the Champions League and Europa League for next week. Have a great weekend, y'all. Stay safe, stay sane, and God bless you. Thank you.